Ever had a customer say, I never got your email, and you know you sent it? So where did it go? It's not in the spam folder. The customer has checked it. Your correspondent has checked it. It's not there. It's just vanished. So here's the thing. It's not the subject line. It's not your content. The email could have been rejected before anyone even got a chance to read it, before it even got to your correspondence inbox. If you want to understand that a little bit better, stay tuned and I'll try and explain it. Welcome to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. If you're a small business owner looking to simplify technology and get real, actionable advice from someone with 35 years of IT experience, you're in the right place. Every episode, I'll dive into tools and systems like email, CRM, marketing and tracking, and I'll break them down into bite-sized tips you can use straight away. Your time is valuable, so let's get straight to the point. It's time to work smarter, not harder. Rise and Shine, it's your business tech boost with me, Charly Leetham. Episode number 677. It's Mindset Monday. I am using a different camera today, so please forgive me if it doesn't look quite as good or it looks a bit weird. And we're going to be talking about why email reputation matters and what you can do around maintaining your email reputation. Now, guys, I have been talking about email for the last couple of weeks. February was what was my email month. I wanted to really get into it and make sure you guys could get your email out, and have them go out consistently and receive consistently. So we've been talking about it a lot. We've been talking about authentication a lot. What we also need to talk about is reputation, what it actually means, and why it becomes important to you as your email authentication. So email reputation is not a mysterious black box. There are things that we know that mail providers track. It's a result of the authentication that we've been speaking of. Sorry, I had a brain freeze there for a moment. It's a result of the authentication that we've been talking about for the last few weeks. It's a result of your list hygiene or the list hygiene, and it's a result of your sending patterns. So let's have a talk about some of the signals that our mail providers are actually looking at. Mail providers like Gmail, Microsoft, Zoho, Yahoo, just about every mail provider in the world does things like tracking bounces, spam complaints, and engagement. Bounces and unengaged recipients. So let's just talk about bounces and unengaged recipients to start with. That is when you send an email out to a list of people and an email bounces, it comes back to you and says, their inbox is full. Okay, let's just put that one to the side for a moment. Their inbox is full. That user doesn't exist. That's the biggest one we normally get, is that user doesn't exist. That email account is not accessible. Those two things, those sorts of bounces are used by mail providers to say you've not kept your list clean. And that's why I wanted to put the inbox full aside, because that's not your fault. That's not our fault. We can't control how our recipients manage their inboxes. But if we're sending out to addresses that don't exist, it looks pretty bad because we haven't cleaned our list. We haven't verified our list. We just haven't cleaned it up. Now, if you want to go into how that happens, like how you end up with imaginary or email addresses that don't exist on your list, we can certainly talk about that. But let's just say that we all end up with email addresses on our list that end up not existing at some point in time. That signals to our mail providers that our email lists are not well maintained. Unengaged recipients. So what does that mean? That is people who don't open your email. And that might just go straight to a folder, and maybe they intend to look at it later and they never get to it. But it's really, we're looking at unopened emails that sort of sit in inboxes and do nothing. Again, that, for whatever reason, they take that as a signal that our list is poorly maintained. Now, I'm not sure that's a reasonable assumption to take, but they do take it. They do look at it and say, well, you're sending out to all these people and they're not opening your emails. They're not reading your emails. Therefore, you haven't verified that they are the right target for you. Is that right? Is it wrong? I don't know. I can just tell you that that's one of the signals that they use. Now, those two things, the bouncers and the unengaged recipients, go into what we class generally as list hygiene. It's really important that we understand that list hygiene is keeping it clean of non-existent emails or emails that have gone away, and making sure that people who are on our list still want to be on our list and get what we're sending them. The other thing that they look at are spam complaints. If you are sending out emails and it hits an inbox and someone says, hit the spam, that sends a little signal back to their mail provider, whether it's Gmail, Microsoft, Yahoo, Zoho, whoever they're using. It sends a little signal off to say, this email was marked as spam, and they start to track it. The mail servers themselves, the mail programs themselves start to track that. And if you keep sending messages in and they keep getting spammed, you end up with a poor reputation for your email account. The final thing that I mentioned there was consistent sending, uh, consistently sending, or not, sorry, your sending patterns. That's what I mentioned. And the sending patterns are making sure that you are sending consistently from your email address. If you are sending consistently from your email address, you look legitimate. If you tend to do what I do, and I am terrible for it, you start up, and I have all good intentions. I'm going to send out my email every month. I'm going to send out to my subscribers every month my email, and I'll send out 2 or 3, and then 8 months later, I'll send out another one. That looks a bit weird to mail providers. It looks like I'm either just spamming out a group of people when I feel like it, or it's potentially that my account was compromised and someone else is using it to send out spam. So they get really sort of antsy about that. Now, that wasn't the final thing I mentioned, was it? The other one I mentioned was authentication, and we've been talking about authentication a lot lately. SPF, DKIM, DMARC. If those don't mean anything to you, I've got a whole heap of episodes. I've got a whole heap of shorts up about what they are and what they do. Happy to share them with you if you want to understand that better. But the authentication, the things that say this service is allowed to send an email on behalf of my domain name is really really important. It proves the domain is legitimate. And honestly, this was made mandatory by a number of the larger mail providers back in 2024. So that's what email reputation actually means. What does that actually mean, though, when you get down to, well, I've spent all this time, I've written great content, it's not spammy content, you've put it through the spam test, just because there are things out there you can put your content through and say, does this look spammy? And they say, no, it doesn't look spammy. It means it looks really good. And you send out your email and it still fails. Well, mail providers will check your domain before they even look at that message content. When your email comes in, the first thing they do is they look to see if it's an authenticated domain, whether whatever service is sending that email on your behalf is authorized to do so. It looks at all of those signals we spoke about, the bounces, the engagements, high spam complaints, all of those things, and it says, this domain looks a bit dodgy, we're going to stop it here. And it actually stops it at the top of the network, or it stops it somewhere along the network. Never actually makes the inbox for, or the mailbox for your recipient. What can actually cause that? Well, things like if you have a sign up form on your website, for example, and bots get into it and start to add addresses to your email list, that's going to give you a whole list of dead addresses. Generally, that's where a lot of those non-existent addresses come from. You end up with bots filling in your form, and it just adds them to your list. There's ways around it. You can do things like spam filtering on your form. You can do bot protection on your form. I would also recommend that regularly you go through and you look at your subscribers and you look at the email addresses and you find the ones that look really suspicious and address those. And then every now and again, go out and ask people, do you still want to get these messages? See who responds to you. Yes, you might drop your email list a little bit, but you're going to have good people. You're going to have good recipients on the email list. You're not going to have people who are so about your content and not reading it. You're not going to have dead email addresses in there. The other things that can happen is you might have been encouraged, enticed to buy a list from someone. Someone might have contacted you and said, hey, I can give you a list of email addresses for CEOs in ballet dancing industry, for example. That's just an example. And you're, oh, cool. Yeah, that's my industry. I want to get those. I want to send emails to those people. So you might have bought that list. You might have been given a list of people that they haven't come to you. They don't know who you are. You've put them on your list. And then as soon as you start sending to them, the things that they're going to do is, because they don't know you, is they will probably end up spamming your messages or just deleting them. That is going to destroy your deliverability. That's going to destroy your reputation. The other thing that people are somewhat encouraged to do is to scrape lists, and that's to go to people's websites, go to the contact forms and take addresses off of the contact forms, or infer email addresses from the domain name. So, CEO at this, contact at this, or if you know someone's name is Joe Blogs, you might say joe.blogs at domain name. And create a list by scraping, what we call scraping information off of websites and social media sites. Not a good, it really isn't a good look. It will affect the reputation of your email domain. It will affect the reputation of your email in general. And eventually, possibly, maybe you'll find that your deliverability drops to a point that very few people are actually getting your emails. The other thing that can actually affect that is the sending infrastructure that you're sharing. If you are sharing sending infrastructure with other people, you might be inheriting their problems as well. So the neighborhood matters. Choosing a good mail marketing provider absolutely matters. Alrighty, so that's what your reputation is. That's how it can be affected, the things that can affect it. Let's talk about what actually matters in all of this. So, yeah, authentication. I have been banging on about authentication for months, and I'm going to keep banging on about authentication. It is important. So making sure that you have every service that you use authorized to send email on your behalf is really important. It's the minimum. It's the thing that you need to do. Practice good list hygiene. Go through your list, clean it regularly. If you're getting bounces, remove bounces. If you have people that aren't opening your emails, consider segmenting them off to another list and going at them saying, do you still want these emails, and taking them off of the main list, at least until they come back and say, yes, I do, and then you can put them back on there. Make sure you are cleaning that list and keeping it clean. Make sure you're honoring the unsubscribes. Do it immediately. Don't sort of put them in a list and think, oh, I'll get them, and then go and send another campaign and think, oh, I forgot to unsubscribe all of those people. Send consistently. Disappearing for months, then blasting everyone absolutely looks suspicious. It's going to cause you problems. So send out information consistently. Be very regimented about that. Your platform choice matters. Some platforms have no quality control or very poor quality control. They share infrastructure with spammers. You're going to get tarred with that same brush. Now, when I also talk about the platforms, a good platform is going to help you maintain your list hygiene, because they will say these emails bounced. We're marking them as bounced. You won't be able to send to them again. You will be able to go through and get statistics to have a look at who's opening your emails, when was the last email they opened, those sorts of things. So you can then look at who you can segment out, who you can take out of that list, and they will allow people to unsubscribe directly, and you don't have to touch it at all. So your platform really matters. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things: authentication, list hygiene, honor your unsubscribe, send consistently, and make sure you're using a quality platform to send your messages out with, whether that's your email, whether that's your marketing email, whether it's your CRM emails, whatever it is. Make sure you're using good platforms with really good reputation and quality control associated with it. Alrighty, guys, what did you think of that one? Did I raise more questions than I answered? I certainly hope so, because that's how we all learn and grow. Knowing what questions you have also helps me do these kind of episodes. So what are your questions? What has come up as we've been going through this episode today that you've gone, oh, wow, I didn't understand that, or hey, no, I disagree with it. If you disagree with it, that's cool. I'd love to know that too. So leave comments wherever you're watching or listening to this video. I'd also like to know is, how do you manage your own list? Have you done the things that I've been talking about? What worked for you? What didn't work for you? What are you going to start doing that you haven't been doing before? Now, if this video was useful, I would really love a like, and maybe you could share it with a friend or a colleague who is having trouble with their email. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so you find out when I drop more content. If you need help with any of this, I'm here to help. This is what I do. I help businesses manage their tech and address these kind of issues. If you haven't already booked a free 30-minute breakthrough session, you can do that by visiting my website, askcharlyleetham.com, and clicking the button in the top right-hand corner. Is that right? I don't know. Or reach out and book more time with me, because I'd love to help you out. I will see you on Wednesday for Walkthrough Wednesday, and until then, be well. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning in to Rise and Shine, your daily business tech boost. I hope today's episode gave you some actionable insights that will make your business tech work smarter for you. If you found value, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other small business owners who could use a daily boost. For more tips, tools, and resources, visit www.askcharlyleetham.com. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and let's make tech simple together.